It was in these Swiss mountains that the world was first introduced to the phrase the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and it's been a hot topic among academics, politicians, and business leaders ever since. But what exactly does it mean? The term Fourth Industrial Revolution was coined by the founder of the World Economic Forum, a former professor named Klaus Schwab. Schwab wrote a book with that title to describe an era marked by a technological revolution that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. Let's break that down. Technologies like artificial intelligence, autonomous vehicles, or the Internet of Things are becoming ingrained in our day-to-day lives and even our bodies. Think of voice-activated virtual assistants, Face ID recognition, or healthcare sensors. Schwab first presented his vision of the Fourth Industrial Revolution at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting here in Davos in 2016. So what separates the Fourth Industrial Revolution from the Third? Experts say the main difference is that technology is merging more and more with humans' lives, and that technological change is happening faster than ever. 3D printing is just one example of fast-paced technology in the Fourth Industrial Revolution. The industry has gone from a business idea to big business, with 3D printer shipments expected to increase from just under 200,000 in 2015 to 2.4 million in 2020. Today, you can have a hip replacement from a 3D printed bone, or use a 3D printed bionic arm. Talk about blurring the line between humans and technology, right? This new era of technology is driving a lot of innovation. You can see in this chart the number of patents related to the Fourth Industrial Revolution for things like 3D printing or AI has been climbing up and up since early 2000. Organizations are embracing new technologies to make their businesses more efficient, similar to how they embraced the steam engine during the First Industrial Revolution. Experts warn we are in a winner-takes-all economy, where high-skilled workers are rewarded with high pay and the rest of workers are left out. Studies confirm technologies like AI will eliminate some jobs and create demand for new skills that many workers don't have. Privacy concerns are another issue as the Fourth Industrial Revolution turns every company into a tech company. Industries from food to retail to banking are going digital, and they're collecting a lot more data about their customers along the way. Users are starting to worry that companies know too much about their private digital lives. The World Economic Forum says a majority of leaders don't have confidence their organizations are ready for the changes associated with the Fourth Industrial Revolution. With tech changing fast every day, it's time to catch up.
As we move in this world, we can see that this world is being divided by many different agendas and schemes. The rich versus the poor, liberals versus conservative, or in America, it's called Democrat versus Republican. There's Christian versus the Bible believer. The list goes on and on. But one of the most unspoken ways is the educated versus the indoctrinated. Now please understand, when I speak of educated, I do not speak of that 4-year plus piece of paper most of us paid for with student loans. I'm speaking of knowledge gained through self-learning away from the mainstream. Those that are informed and live through knowledge are able to walk in much more power and conviction than with those that live in their web of indoctrination and falsely believe that they are actually educated. I say all this because for most people that understand where this world is going, you know you're able to move with a sense of power in this world that does not place you with the herds of people flocking towards death and the mark of the beast. Knowledge is power, and when we have it, we don't have to be led down dark paths following our enemy. The thing that most people don't know is that the wicked of this world move according to rules. There are rules that they must abide by, and so in order for their magic and sorcery to work against the population, they must abide in those rules. They often tell us what they're doing in order to play fair according to whatever satanic rules they have to follow. A part of being awake and living with your eyes open is about paying attention to what they are saying and not falling for their lies and their false narratives. The people asleep who deny Yah and are living for themselves, especially here in America, just see the world through a lens of capitalism or a fake American dream that's actually over, but they don't want to admit it. Everyone trying to get rich or figure out how to be wealthy, dedicating their life to a system that's on its way out. And because they rely on their indoctrination rather than knowledge and discernment, they are being continuously led down dark paths that lead to hell. Many people that I know personally can often get thrown off by my confidence in my view for the future, because they feel that I am not someone in the room with these elites, and I obviously don't know the timing of their plans. They are thrown off because I live my life like I know what these people are doing. They often are confused about why I'm so confident about my worldview. Now, it goes without saying that my faith in Yah and belief in His word is my overwhelming source of confidence. I know His will be done, and He will fulfill His word and promises. But for many people that don't truly care about Yah, they still don't get it. And my next answer is, I read books. You know, there was a saying, if you want to hide something from a Negro, put it in a book. But I'm sure now they mean it for everyone. Not because we can't read, just because we don't read. I've learned a long time ago that books contain a great deal of information about our history and our future, and so I have long been a reader of them. A couple weeks ago, I did an in-depth video on the past, but we now are going to start discussing the future. Those that run this world speak about their future plans. They coordinate amongst themselves and discuss their plans in the open, and they can do this because the population is so lost and are so deep in their web of lies that the masses don't even want to admit that these people are planning agendas against them. And so these people actually speak on their agendas right out in the open.
Are you ready for a new world order?
This is not to say that they don't also plan behind the curtain, and they obviously do not share all of their plans. But if we pay attention, we can gain a great deal of understanding of what they desire for the future. And though we might not know the details of exactly what they will do to achieve these goals, we can know what these people that control the world believe the world will look like in the future. And from these goals and understandings, we can make a truly knowledgeable, informed decision on whether we are going to participate in it or not. And then we can also see through their narratives as they unfold before our eyes. There is a topic that should be widely known amongst all inhabitants of the earth because it's all in our face every day. I've spoken about the Great Reset, which is a major agenda that is actually just a new label to the beginning of the New World Order. But before they started talking about this Great Reset, they began talking about the Fourth Industrial Revolution. This is something that, like the other industrial revolutions, it will affect the whole world. Since this topic was introduced in 2016, we have seen a steady pace in conditioning us for this Fourth Industrial Revolution. But yet the masses honestly don't have a clue. You need to hear this truth. The truth is that you cannot participate in this world system and make plans for yourself in it and not know what they are planning for your future. If you don't know the future of these major industries or the future of your job and what your children are going to be doing and where you stand in this world, you can be committing yourself and your children's future to failure. These things are not hidden, and they are right in front of our face. And while I recognize that not everyone has the time to read these books or even understand what they are alluding to, I have been led to show what these people have been saying so all of us can make informed decisions about what we commit our life to. I must be honest and transparent. If you're a first-time viewer of this channel and content, I am making this video to help make you understand that the world that you might have committed your life to is not real, and it will change at a twinkling of an eye. You can either choose to move with the changes and stay committed to their world, or you can learn that there is a plan A, and you can commit your life to what and who truly matters. I'm going to break down the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Let's begin. Okay, so this video is not going to be my own words. I've done these videos long enough to know that when you tell people how it is from your own research, instead of trying to understand you, they want to debate and argue with you. So I'm not up for that and do not want to deal with that, and plus, it's not needed. You see this man right here? His name is Klaus Schwab. He looks like one of the supervillains you might see in a James Bond movie or something. But in fact, he is just a major player in the agendas of the world that they let us see. When you understand this world, you'll know that there are people like him who we are allowed to know of and see, and there are people like this man in the shadows who we are never allowed to know of. But he, in fact, holds more power and dictates control over men like Schwab. But that's neither here nor there. Klaus Schwab is the founder and executive chairman for the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is an international, non-governmental, and lobbying organization based in Colony Canton of Geneva, Switzerland. It was founded on January 24, 1971 by German engineer Klaus Schwab. The forum engages the foremost political, business, cultural, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas. If you remember, in the beginning of this year, many heads of state and business leaders went to Davos for the World Economic Forum's annual meeting. Back in the day, I remember Alex Jones used to expose stuff like this, and it was conspiracy. But now these people, they got smarter, and they do these things right out in the open with news coverage. They tell us what they're doing, and the people don't really care. So anyways, Klaus Schwab published this book on January 11th of 2016. It's very plainly titled The Fourth Industrial Revolution. And his next book was Shaping the Future of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And that was published on November 6th of 2018. The second book piggybacks off the first. And if you read them, they explain a great deal about what we are currently seeing forming in this world. So I will be using this book and his words to explain this topic to you. And from this, you can be better informed of what these people put in their books because they know the public won't read them. In his first book, he gives historical context about what this fourth industrial revolution means. He writes, "The word revolution denotes abrupt and radical change. Revolutions have occurred throughout history when new technologies and novel ways of perceiving the world trigger a profound change in economic systems and social structures. The first industrial revolution spanned from about 1760 to around 1840. Triggered by the construction of railroads and the invention of the steam engine, it ushered in mechanical production. The second industrial revolution, which started in the late 19th century and into the early 20th century, made mass production possible, fostered by the advent of electricity and the assembly line. The third industrial revolution began in the 1960s. It is usually called the computer or digital revolution because it was catalyzed by the development of semiconductors, mainframe computing, 1960s, personal computing, 1970s and 80s, and the internet, 1990s. And today, we are at the beginning of a fourth industrial revolution. It began at the turn of the century and builds on the digital revolution. It is characterized by a much more ubiquitous and mobile internet, by smaller and more powerful sensors that have become cheaper, and by artificial intelligence and machine learning. That's how he breaks down the fourth industrial revolution. So listen, if you think that all of a sudden you've been hearing a lot about AI and ChatGPT, it's because they are transitioning our minds for this fourth industrial revolution that's upon us, and they're just getting us ready for it. And his explanation should be enough context for understanding what we are about to discuss. The first three industrial revolutions changed the world in many different ways, but it was more from a business industrial standpoint, like with the first revolution with the railroads, and the second revolution with electricity and assembly lines for mass production. Now, of course, the electricity, it changed our life drastically. Or even the third with computers and the internet. I mean, imagine your life without that revolution. Imagine your life without computers and the internet. All these things drastically changed our lives and the world. They drastically changed the world that we lived in. And we should not expect anything less from the fourth revolution. But the thing is that, like everything else that's coming with this New World Order, this fourth industrial revolution is not just about industry or business, but about us personally and how us as humans will be involved with it and interact with it. Schwab writes, by enabling smart factories, the fourth industrial revolution creates a world in which virtual and physical systems of manufacturing globally cooperate with each other in a flexible way. This enables the absolute customization of products and the creation of new operating models. The fourth industrial revolution, however, is not only about smart and connected machines and systems. Its scope is much wider. Occurring simultaneously are waves of further breakthroughs in areas ranging from gene sequencing to nanotechnology, from renewables to quantum computing. It is the fusion of these technologies and their interaction across the physical, digital, and biological domains that make the Fourth Industrial Revolution fundamentally different from previous revolutions. And so for me, I am highlighting and displaying these points he has made in his books because it's easy for us to just wave all this off and just say that this is how things happen over time. We're spoiled, and so we just look at things as technological progress, evolution. I mean, the other week I saw the New York mayor introducing robo-dogs and just basically told us it's evolution. But people don't recognize they are witnessing an agenda being carried out right before them. It's much more than just evolution, but people are not aware of the agenda even though they're not hiding it. If you pay close attention to the words Schwab used in his books, it's very telling. He said the Fourth Industrial Revolution is fundamentally different from the previous revolutions. So it's important to understand what makes this revolution so different. In the second chapter of this book, he writes about the drivers of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. He speaks of megatrends. This is an important word that they all use, but unfortunately, most of us don't even know of it or we haven't even heard of it. So what are megatrends? According to the company BlackRock, megatrends are powerful, transformative forces that could change the global economy, business, and society. Megatrends have been changing the way we live for centuries. Think electricity, automobile, the internet. Yeah. Wikipedia says megatrends are trends that have an effect on a global scale. What I am trying to convey here is that what Schwab is about to talk about in this chapter are about trends that will affect the whole world and change the way we live. So for you, being one that lives in this world, I hope you think it's wise to understand where the power players and decision makers are steering this world towards, what they feel will change the world. Schwab says, to identify the megatrends and convey the broad landscape of technological drivers of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, I have organized the list into 3 clusters: physical, digital, and biological. All 3 are deeply interrelated, and various technologies benefit from each other based on the discoveries and progress each makes. So let's be clear. What he is about to explain is how he has broken down this coming industrial revolution. He broke it into 3 parts: physical, digital, and biological. In regards to physical, we'll talk about it first. He says there are 4 main physical manifestations of the technological megatrends, which are the easiest to see because of their tangible nature: autonomous vehicles, 3D printing, advanced robotics, new materials. And those things are right in front of our face. I mean, basically, we know about driverless cars, but they plan many other autonomous vehicles to be introduced in the mainstream. Autonomous trucks, drones, aircrafts, and boats. Basically, all of our transportation will be run by artificial intelligence and will not be operated by humans. Things like our Ubers and DoorDash, these will all be automated by drones and driverless cars. I think that is a big change. We are giving over our control to robots we do not control, but others do. I think their plan for drones is the most alarming, though. They've shown what to expect from these things in many dystopian movies and shows about the new world that's coming. You see, you can't reason with a robot, and they do not operate off of feelings. So when you're having robots interacting with our society on a normal, consistent basis, that's dangerous. That's a change. They also are using 3D printing. And if you're on Instagram or I guess TikTok, you might see reels about people using 3D printing to make buildings. Or I remember in a Mission Impossible, they showed it being used to make a face. This technology is real, but most people don't have a clue. Schwab says this about 3D printing. 3D printing, also called additive manufacturing. 3D printing consists of creating a physical object by printing layer upon layer from a digital 3D model or drawing. This is the opposite of subtractive manufacturing, which is how things have been made until now, with layers being removed from a piece or material until the desired shape is obtained. He said, the technology is being used in a broad range of applications, from large wind turbines to small medical implants. 3D printing will become more pervasive to include integrated electronic components such as circuit boards and even human cells and organs. Researchers are already working on 4D, a process that would create a new generation of self-altering products capable of responding to environmental challenges such as heat and humidity. This technology could be used in clothing or footwear, as well as in health-related products such as implants designed to adapt to the human body. Yeah, this is the future that is coming. And please know and remember that this book was published 7 years ago in 2016. We have had a ton of progress since then. But you heard and saw correct. They plan to artificially create human cells and organs. I think people will be very surprised to know the technologies used in the most recent World Health Scare when they gave half the world its unknown solution. I think it's important to know what they are planning and what they're capable of, because when things get rolled out, it will not come with the choice of acceptance or not and continue on with your life. It will come with, accept this or we will shut down your life. And maybe if this video was made in 2019, you would just say that's crazy or just conspiracy theory, never could happen. But after what we just went through with the solution, you should know they have plans and methods to roll out controversial medical procedures. Schwab also speaks of advanced robotics, and for time's sake, I won't dive into that because I think anyone with the smallest amount of discernment can recognize the danger of having robots moving through our society. But people, they still accept it. The biggest application of this will be when they employ them for what they call public safety. So like I said, as we saw the mayor introduce the robo-dog or whatever they call it, people don't recognize that this is the first step. You see, they roll out a smaller dog that seems powerful but controllable. And then they just expand the technology to robo-humans, robocops. They've been alluding to this for decades. The police force will be robots. This is a part of what they mean when they say police reform. This is also part of the reason why they want to get rid of rapid-fire guns. All of you who think having a gun will save you, you don't have a clue about what they are planning. Yah is our only source. These people are not playing by the same rules that you are. The next megatrend he speaks of is digital. Listen to what he says here. One of the main bridges between the physical and digital applications enabled by the Fourth Industrial Revolution is the Internet of Things, IoT, sometimes called the Internet of All Things. In its simplest form, it can be described as a relationship between things, products, services, places, etc., and people that is made possible by connected technologies and various platforms. You see, this part is crucial because this all will be used to change our lives. This includes many different agendas, like for instance with artificial intelligence. There is so much in the news about ChatGPT and the other major companies looking into AI. Many people raising alarm bells about it, trying to scare us about a Terminator type situation. We hear Elon Musk talk about it a lot. I don't really care about all that noise because that is nothing that Yah has told us to worry about in regards to the end of the world. They are just raising the alarm bells to get us to want them to build regulation or rules about writing them into our society.
Musk and hundreds of influential names, including Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, are calling for a pause in experiments, saying AI poses a dramatic risk to society unless there's proper oversight.
I think we need to regulate AI safety, frankly, because it is, I think, actually a bigger risk to society than cars or planes or medicine.
They want us to be so scared that we agree to them writing the rules for artificial intelligence being implemented in our lives. ChatGPT is a lot of things. I mean, look at all the different things they say it can do.
It took Netflix more than 3 years to reach 1 million users, but it took ChatGPT just 5 days. Techies everywhere short-circuiting with excitement. OMG, ChatGPT is about to make my life 10 times easier. But what is it? ChatGPT is a state-of-the-art natural language processing model developed by OpenAI. It is specifically designed for conversational language and is capable of generating responses to input in a way that mimics human conversation. That description, by the way, comes from ChatGPT itself. We asked. Think of it as Google, but with more human-like features. Plus, it's free.
You can ask a very specific question like, give me 5 tips for how to use my camera. You can ask it to write a poem or a play or a song. It really can kind of comprehend almost any request. And then it spits out language that sounds like it was written by a human being.
We also asked it to write this entire script, which it did. But it didn't take into account that we'd need our expert to weigh in.
A lot of the headlines are that this might make Google obsolete. Do you see that possibly becoming reality?
If I were Google, I would be a little bit nervous just because this interface is sort of the thing that everybody has wanted forever. I mean, this is the closest thing I've seen to like the Star Trek computer, where you say what you want and it responds instantly.
For better or for worse, many educators are already worried about how ChatGPT might become a surrogate student when it comes to homework.
Kids could use this to grade something which a teacher could probably not identify as not having been written by a human.
Non-students can use ChatGPT for other tasks. Here's ChatGPT drafting an email to my bosses asking for a raise. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, says it's using this technology responsibly. The bot won't answer any salacious questions, for example. But this is only the beginning.
There will be other companies who come up with similar technologies who don't care so much about being responsible.
This is just the next step of reducing how much they actually need people in order to get things done. You are witnessing the technology that will replace you. So when your job in the system can be done by AI, what do you think your value in their future is? When they have all these jobs that a computer and artificial intelligence can do, what do you think our children will be doing? You need to think about all this as you engage with this world. Like I said, there are a lot of different parts to the digital megatrend, but the most important is the new economic system of control that will come through the technology of cryptocurrencies and the blockchain. Schwab says, the digital revolution is creating radically new approaches that revolutionize the way in which individuals and institutions engage and collaborate. For example, the blockchain, often described as a digital ledger, is a secure protocol where a network of computers collectively verifies a transaction before it can be recorded and approved. The technology that underpins the blockchain creates trust by enabling people who do not know each other, and thus have no underlying basis for trust, to collaborate without having to go through a neutral central authority, i.e., a custodian or central ledger. In essence, the blockchain is a shared, programmable, cryptographical, secure, and therefore trusted ledger which no single user controls, and which can be inspected by everyone. Blockchain technology records financial transactions made with digital currencies such as Bitcoin. It will in the future serve as a registrar for things as different as birth and death certificates, titles of ownership, marriage licenses, educational degrees, insurance claims, medical procedures, and votes. Essentially any kind of transaction that can be expressed in code. That's scary. You see, people love to talk about the liberation they feel cryptocurrencies are going to bring to the world. But that's just being naive, and people hoping that they finally can be first to the party and have some kind of financial success. Don't ever listen to people who frame cryptocurrencies as a good thing. Yes, it is a good hedge against the dollar, but if you're focused on financial success, it is going to walk you right into the mark of the beast. What we are talking about is a major system of control that will be implemented around the whole world. When money goes digital into the blockchain, we will be entering a system of control that has never been seen before. Everything we do will be documented and cannot be hidden. Our lives and all of our actions will be recorded. It's sad that so many people still do not believe or recognize this. This will start after the economic collapse and the dollar collapses. The central banks of the world will start with central bank digital currencies, but eventually this will all be merged into a one world digital currency. And all the transaction in the world will be in complete control and seen by all that control this world. No one will be able to buy or sell anything without the system knowing exactly what you are doing. This is the world that we're entering, and if you have your eyes open just the smallest bit, this should be obvious and plain to see. In his second book on this subject, Shaping the Future of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, when speaking about blockchain, Schwab said, the permanent and transparent nature of blockchain records means they would be well suited to create secure digital identities, potentially revolutionizing everything from healthcare records to voting and the delivery of government services. They know that this technology will change the way the world is run. But are you planning for what the implementation of it will mean for your life and your family? Do not be reactive, but proactive. When they speak of secure digital identities, They are speaking about merging us with technology. You must understand what they're talking about. And that brings me into the last megatrend for the fourth industrial revolution, which is biological. And when they list biological, it should be very alarming, being that this whole revolution is based on the digitization of the world. Schwab says innovations in the biological realm and genetics in particular are nothing less than breathtaking. In recent years, considerable progress has been achieved in reducing the cost and increasing the ease of genetic sequencing, and lately in activating or editing genes. Synthetic biology is the next step. It will provide us with the ability to customize organisms by writing DNA. Setting aside the profound ethical issues this raises, these advances will not only have a profound and immediate impact on medicine, but also on agriculture and the production of biofuels. Many of our intractable health challenges, from heart disease to cancer, have a genetic component. Because of this, the ability to determine our individual genetic makeup in an efficient and cost-effective manner through sequencing machines used in routine diagnostics will revolutionize personalized and effective healthcare. Increasing amounts of data will make precision medicine possible, enabling the development of highly targeted therapies to improve treatment outcomes. The ability to edit biology can be applied to practically any cell type, enabling the creation of genetically modified plants or animals, as well as modifying the cells of adult organisms, including humans. This differs from genetic engineering practiced in the 1980s. In fact, the science is progressing so fast that the limitations are now less technical than they are legal, regulatory, and ethical. The list of potential applications is virtually endless, ranging from the ability to modify animals so that they can be raised on a diet that is more economical or better suited to local conditions, to creating food crops that are capable of withstanding extreme temperatures or droughts. As research into genetic engineering progresses, for example, the development of CRISPR-Cas9 method in gene editing and therapy, the constraints of effective delivery and specificity will be overcome, leaving us with one immediate and most challenging question, particularly from an ethical viewpoint. How will genetic editing revolutionize medical research and medical treatment? In principle, both plants and animals could potentially be engineered to produce pharmaceuticals and other forms of treatment. The day when cows are engineered to produce in its milk a blood clotting element, which hemophiliacs lack, is not far off. Researchers have already started to engineer the genomes of pigs with the goal of growing organs suitable for human transplantation, a process called xenotransplantation, which could not be envisaged until now because of the risk of immune rejection by the human body and of disease transmission from animals to humans. In line with the point made earlier about how different technologies fuse and enrich each other, 3D manufacturing will be combined with gene editing to produce live tissues for the purpose of tissue repair and regeneration, a process called bioprinting. This has already been used to generate skin, bone, heart, and vascular tissue. Eventually, printed liver cell layers will be used to create transplant organs. You know what's crazy? These people show us all these things in their movies, just conditioning us for a time when all of this will just be acceptable. For instance, I remember in the Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, or whatever, a movie which dealt completely with all these different themes. I remember when Hawkeye got hurt and they used some spray and it gave him new skin. That's that same technology I just read Schwab write about.
The nanomolecular functionality is instantaneous. The cells don't know they're bonding with simulacra.
She is creating tissue.
They put it right in front of us to normalize their plans and condition us for it. I mean, they're talking about making our organs out of pigs, transplanting our organs from pigs. I mean, do we even know if they have a right to tell us if they're doing that now?
First time ever, a man with a life-threatening heart disease successfully received a new heart from a genetically modified pig. Surgeons at the University of Maryland performing this groundbreaking procedure on 57-year-old David Bennett Sr. You see him right there. This is now giving hope to doctors and thousands of patients waiting for organ transplants.
Schwab continued saying, "We are developing new ways to embed and employ devices that monitor our activity levels and blood chemistry, and how all of this links to well-being, mental health, and productivity at home and at work. We are also learning far more about how the human brain functions, and we are seeing exciting developments in the field of neural technology. We are confronted with new questions around what it means to be human. What data and information about our bodies and health can or should be shared with others? And what rights and responsibilities we have when it comes to changing the very genetic code of future generations. Read that right. Changing the very genetic code of future generations. Our children and our children's children, they plan to change their genetic code. They're not asking what data they should collect about our bodies. They're asking what information about our bodies can they share. They plan to know everything about us. This is the future that we're heading to. In his second book, in section 2.3, is named, I kid you not, Altering the Human Being. They have plans to alter us, and I again want to put this into perspective that this book was published in 2018, 2 years before the pandemic, in which the world was given a new medicine that does things that we've never seen before. You have to be really careful on what you say about this, so I'm going to tread lightly. Either way, they call it biotechnology, and they are going to manipulate our bodies in order to treat conditions. This is a part of many different agendas, but nothing greater than merging us digitally with implantable microchips. If you do not understand that a part of their plan is to place computer chips in us so that we can secure our digital lives and they can track and know everything we're doing, you don't understand their plans. I don't believe that we're close to the rollout yet, but after they introduce all these other ideas with blockchain and the new economic system, when they roll out the metaverse and tie our employment or this universal basic income to it, they will tie your digital identity, and the ultimate verification source will be that chip installed in your hand. Please know, this is not science fiction. This is something that is very much real and is already here. This is the world that we're entering. What I have given you is an overview of their plans for the world. And throughout all of these plans, there is one thing that must be understood. This world that they are creating is a world made to regulate itself without regard of the Most High. This fourth industrial revolution is bringing about a complete change to the way we interact with this world and the amount of control we have versus how much control the system will have. The people that participate in this system will gladly give over their rights and their privacy for a chance of security, in order for economic prosperity, in order for them to believe that they are actually saving their life.
Hydra created a world so chaotic that humanity is finally ready to sacrifice its freedom to gain its security. Once the purification process is complete, Hydra's new world order will arise.
This is the world that is coming, and it will not come with an instruction manual that will explain how to adapt. Every step of the way, we will be pushed, conditioned, and steered right into it. And in order to save our life, many will conform to the system. When I see agendas like this, I think it's important that we all hold on to Messiah's words. In Luke chapter 17, verses 32 and 33, Yahusha said, "Remember Lot's wife. Whoever seeks to save his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life will preserve it." Because this world is going to move everyone through provocations of fear, there will be many that try to save their lives by conforming and adapting to the system, thinking that that's the solution, thinking that by conforming, they'll be saving their life and making things better for themselves, and they will be just led into where they're leading and steering the masses. Very similar to what people did in 2021 when they took that unknown solution, they will do the same in all the different areas that the system is creating in order for us to all be fully trapped into their satanic world system. People trust the system, and as it's changing, people will just say, I'm adapting to it. I'm adapting to the change. I made this video because it's important that people understand the future in front of them and move in accordance with reality and not with how they want to view this world. I know many people that have different goals for their future, and I always tell them the same thing, that they must understand where this world is going. The CEOs of these Fortune 500 companies are not living in the same world that the masses live in. They know the future because their companies are investing in developing it, and we are just being made to be reactive to adjust to the world that they are creating. I made this video so that you can make decisions about your future from a position of knowledge and awareness rather than being reactionary. These things are right in our face, and they are waiting to implement all these changes. And the sad part is the unwise and undiscerning will be led into destruction. I'm not making any of this up. I'm reading all this out of their books. As these things have been revealed to you, I encourage you to walk more in power and strength and conviction. We will all have a choice if we choose to take part in this revolution. Just as we had a choice in COVID, though we didn't like the options presented, we were all able to make a choice to participate or not and deal with the consequences in both situations. This whole thing will come about again, and you will have to make a decision to follow the world or follow Yah. These people are all about removing Yah and placing themselves in as God, merging us with technology, altering us as humans, making us not what Yah created. If you understand that Yah does not approve or want us to be a part of these things, please understand that it will be up to you whose rule over your life you accept. The reason they want to alter us as humans is to make us not acceptable to Yah, and that is exactly why when the mark of the beast comes, you will not be found acceptable and you cannot repent from it. The choices that will come will not be easy, and it will require confidence and conviction if you're to walk away from this revolution. But if you understand who you are turning to, the decision is simple. You must know that you cannot be a coward or faithless. It is prophesied that the cowardly, unbelieving, abominable, murderers, sexually immoral, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. That's Revelation chapter 21, verse 8. So understand what happens to cowards if you choose to be one. It takes strength and faith to be able to go the other direction when the rest of the world is going the other way. But please know that this is something you must do when you are set apart. If you see all that they are showing us, you must understand that we are in a time of change that the world cannot come back from. You must decide to live for Yah now, and not just by word, but by deed and action and faith. Please do not prepare your children for this society. Guard them and protect them and raise them up in the knowledge of Yah and His word. The world is going another direction, and if you are smart, you will open your eyes to it all and make sure you are not following it down the path it is leading us. Yahuwah has prophesied to us, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you," says Yahuwah, "thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope." That's Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. All those who commit their lives to Yahuwah have a future. You do not have to be a part of the changes that are coming, but you must make a decision to live for and serve Yah. Now that you know more about their plans, the choice is on you whether you will be strong or weak, faithful or fearful. Like I started in the beginning, there is a separation in this world. The world is changing, but you must make sure that your faith in Yah does not. Be ready for the changes and be ready to not follow their path when the time comes. But listen, the decision is yours to make. Please, make the right one and be ready. Be blessed. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Okay, thanks again for watching. If this has blessed you, please make sure to like it and share this video with others. This is a topic everyone should understand. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Yah willing, I upload every Friday. Also, don't forget to follow this ministry on Facebook and Instagram, as well as on my website, truthunedited.com. If for any reason you no longer see this channel any longer, you can always find this ministry on truthunedited.com. Make sure you subscribe to the email list to always stay connected. I ask that you please continue to pray for this ministry. Your prayers and support are sincerely appreciated. As always, I'd like to thank all those who donate and contribute to this ministry. Your contribution is a huge blessing to this ministry and helps me continue on with this assignment and helps bring these things to other people. Your support is a blessing. I'm always humbled by your support and I'm very thankful for you. Thank you. Be blessed. Okay. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. I love you all.